so Osamu Miya is in the game now. Should you summon for him? Now, a lot of people will always think of Miya twins together as a whole. However, Osamu Miya can definitely be played without his brother Asumu. So there is actually a good reason why you may actually choose to still summon for Osamu Miya even without the Miya twins. Okay, so I will talk all about that in this video. I will also go over his memory because his memory is kind of locked onto him. Therefore, if you are going to summon for him, you probably do want his memory. You can potentially get away with some other ones, but I will talk about that in a bit, okay? Ideally, if you are going to have Osamu, you will be getting his memory. So, why can Osamu be played even without Asumiya? So, let's just take a look at all of his skills first. So, skill 1. This basically increases his quick attack by a flat 10%, that's passive, which is nice. And then at the start of the match, he will reduce his awareness to 0%. And for every 1% awareness reduced, you're going to increase your attack technique. Now, this is very good because, first of all, if you just take a look at all of your potentials, you will know that normally when you have a substat, which is for awareness versus substat for attack technique, the one for awareness tend to just have a higher numerical value, okay? So even if you build him with full awareness, it's actually going to turn out to be a much greater amount and much greater than buff if you build him with the exact same thing but with all of the stats changed to attack technique purely because of this passive, okay? But that's kind of why you still do want to build him up with awareness. Now, what is making this actually very interesting, and also a lot of people take a look at this skill and they think immediately, okay, I can see the synergy between Mia twins, right? Because as with Mia get a buff whenever one of your teammates doesn't crit. And if I'm able to reduce my awareness to 0%, then that ensures my Osamu Mia will not be able to crit, and therefore you buff up my Asumu Mia. That is true, and that is why they are definitely a good combo together. But the other reason why Osamu can also be played without Asumiya, or even actually a crit-based team, is the fact that if you actually take a look at this, this is only at the start of the match, okay? And what that basically means is that for anything which is added on within the duration of the match, you can still build up his awareness. So some of the good example is going to be, for example, if you have attack tempo from Orikawa, that extra 10% will be added on. In fact, I believe passive skills are also added on rather than at the start of the match. I may need to double check on that, but it's possible that certain passive skills, such as the one from Orikawa, would also be contributing towards his awareness, not at the start of the match, but during the match. Some other good example would be, for example, the likes of Akashi as a setter, or you are Kageyama in the future as a setter. They are able to increase the crit rate when they actually set a ball. Once again, those are not added at the start of the match. It's only added within the match itself. So that basically means that even when you try to build Osama, there's actually a good chance that you are able to actually build him even with a crit focus build, okay? Now, what makes this actually really, really interesting and potentially makes Osamu Miya the hardest hitter in the game is that the damage calculation in this game, which I'll probably cover in a separate video because I didn't realize so many people didn't know about this. But basically, it's a multiplication between the very different stats you're going to get. So normally, if you're able to get some kind of multiplier across various different stats, they are better than if you have all of your multiplier within the same stats. Because if you have all of your multiplier within the same stat, what that's going to mean is that you will just be adding it onto each other. Whereas if you actually spread it across different stats, what's going to happen is that you'll be multiplying them with each other, and therefore it gives you a higher damage, okay? So having Osamu who first of all already have an insane amount of attack technique, he can also have an insane amount of quick attack because when he does quick attack, he also increased by his attack technique, etc. And then on top of that, if you are also able to somehow force him to crit, he is going to get a massive number multiplier across every single stat, and overall can actually make him the hardest hitting character in this game right now, even surpassing the likes of Ushijima, okay? Now that is only if you actually do him with a crit build, but I just want to point this out, saying that Osamu definitely does not have to go hand in hand with his brother Asumiya. He can actually be played in crit focused team, and because he's the only opposite hitter, which is actually a quick spiker, that's also what makes him very, very interesting. Because if you are at this until position limit is going to be removed, if you're going to play a quick attack team, he is obviously going to be far better than any other opposite hitter that you're able to obtain. Okay, so those are all of the reasons why you may choose to summon for Osamu without his brother Asamiya. Now that's kind of the main thing I want to get across today, but I'll just quickly cover the other skills as well. Okay, so his skill 2, this is just a surf ability. If the opponent's under suppression, which is he's able to apply himself, you're gonna get some extra buff. Okay, this lasts for 8 necrosing, so this is massive. And also, if you just take a look at the wording, it's not that the opponent have to be under. Oh yeah, it's sorry. The opponent have to be under suppression when you surf. Okay, so the way you can do it is you can potentially actually do a quick attack first, because when you do a quick attack, you are able to apply suppression, and then afterwards you're able to then benefit yourself. This is for 8 necrosing, which is great. Same thing with here. Suppression actually lasts for 10 necrosing, so basically you are actually able to constantly get the pretty much like the enemy will be in permanent debuff state. Suppression is also actually quite nice debuff in comparison to all of the ones we're able to apply, because some of the debuff you're able to apply in this game, for example, like weakens the enemy block, etc. Now, the thing with quick attack is that in future, a lot of quick attack members can actually ignore block. They basically have an unblockable spike. So reduce the enemy receive rather than reducing the enemy block is also going to be quite nice for a lot of the quick attack team. Okay, so that's another reason why he can even have that kind of like support utility role in a quick spiking team, even if he's not the main damage dealer. But obviously, he is going to be the main damage dealer because I already said he has a natural high quick attack stat. He has a natural high attack technique due to his passive. You can even turn him into a crit machine with a high crit damage build as well. He has one of the highest multiplier in terms of damage. Okay, so he can definitely play more as a utility player as well as kind of the main DPS on your team. Now, in terms of skill resonance, number 1 is a big buff. It's a 60%. It's a big buff, but it doesn't add anything extra. So it's just going to be up to you whether you want this extra buff in terms of the technique. It doesn't change the way you're going to be playing the character at all. And then at Dupe 6, what's going to happen is that when you actually score with the spike, your ultimate is going to gain additional bonus effect. Once again, this just add on to the utility aspect of Osamu, which may or may not be nice. Also, this is for the next 2 ultimate skill. It doesn't have to be the 2 next spikes or block. It can be basically used up for by a lot of different things. Once that's a good thing or once that's a bad thing, it's going to be up to you, but there's going to be some kind of element of randomness involved with it as well. Okay, so just bear those in mind. Personally, in my opinion, I definitely think you can build Osamu fairly budget. I don't think any of the dupes is going to be like a massive game changer for him. The 60% does look very nice, but at the end of the day, it's not like a new game mechanic, so up to you whether you want to go for the extra dupe just for this extra 60% buff, okay? So that's going to be the character himself. Now let's talk about memory. Memory is going to be another interesting one because, like I said, he's the only opposite hitter with a quick attack. And if you actually take a look at his memory, this one gives a quick attack, which basically means that this memory is absolutely useless on any other character in this game. Okay, any other opposite hitter. Obviously, if you actually put this on a non-opposite hitter, this effect wouldn't be triggered either. So literally, this is like exclusive for him. So if you're going to summon for him, you absolutely need Osamu. Now, can you play Osamu without his memory? You can potentially get away with it, even though it's not ideal. For example, Ushijima, you are still able to get that awareness into it. I'm not actually sure whether this counts as the start of match and therefore get converted to attack technique, or whether this is actually in the middle of the match, therefore you get an increase in the stats. I believe it's the latter, but I'm not too sure. But either way, yes, you can potentially take some advantage of that, but then the second half, you almost certainly wouldn't, because it actually require your awareness exceeds 20%. You can potentially do it if you have the likes of, let's say, Akashi SP in the future, but even in those kind of cases, you won't be able to get the full amount of buff, because in order for you to have the full amount of buff, you need your awareness to exceed like 120%, up to 120%, which is just absolutely crazy. There's no way also Mia is able to do that. Now, if you don't care about like getting the full stack out of that, but just say, maybe increase it by another 30 or 40%, then fine, this can still work on Osamu Mia. But obviously you are then having to build your Osamu Mia in a crit focused way. So if you're going to play him in the in Naruto team with the Mia twins, then this memory is going to be useless for him as well. Okay, and then the other future SP opposite hidden memory also doesn't really go too well with Osamu Miya either. So that's kind of why I would say if you're going to summon for Osamiya, there's a good chance that you probably have to summon for this one. So do you plan for that in advance, okay? You are needing to have basically enough tickets to go for both the character and the memory. If you're missing tickets for either one of them, it may not be the best choice for you, at least not as of right now, because there's literally not a really good alternative budget option for his memory. Okay, so that's going to be my thoughts on the character and also the memory itself. So now let me do some summoning. I am in an interesting situation because I'm 40 away from Osamu, so there's a high chance I would be doing it. But at the same time, I always preach what I teach, and my thing that I try to say a lot of the time is that I try to get those cashback rewards with a ticket back reward from the cumulative recruit. Obviously, I'm not going to go crazy. If I go 50, then I would just end up getting him guaranteed, which I don't really want to. So I'm just going to risk it for the 10 and get 2 tickets back. Now, whether you want to do this, it's going to be up to you. It's going to be your own risk appetite, right? I am going to do it because I think it's worth the risk. And worst case scenario, if I do happen to get also Mia, yes, it's an unwanted character, but you know, all UR and SP characters are good in this game. Okay, so I'm going to take a risk right now. If I am actually lucky / unlucky to actually obtain him, then what I'm going to do is I'll just go 50. Okay, I'll go up 50 to continue to build up my pity. But if I don't get him, then I'll just definitely stop at 10. So now it's a make or break time. Let's see. Let's see. Would I be lucky or unlucky? I don't even know which way I want it to go now. Also, just to show you, basically, if I do this summon, it will be one. I'll be at 1 temple. If I just show you my recruit history, I'll basically only have 3 dupes, 3 copies of UR character right now. If you take away 100 of this, basically my average is that I got 3 UR characters in 336 summons, which basically means on average it takes me 121. So if I do happen to get it now, I will be getting it within 110. So that's slightly higher than my average. But once again, it's all down to luck. So let's see whether we get lucky or unlucky. Okay, so this is unlucky, I guess. But like I said, I don't care. All I want to do was to build up my pity. You could argue maybe I can do another 5 memory tickets, but I don't think it's worth it. It's too much of a risk now. I just wanted to get 2 UR ticket back, okay? But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think, and also if you're going to summon for Osamu Miya. And if you are, is it because of the Miya twins, or you're trying to get him for something else?